YouTubers. So today I wanted to talk about a topic that I get questions about all the time: vegan protein sources. I can't even tell you how many times people ask me about what to eat because they're trying to get more protein in. They're trying to lift, build muscle, but they're trying to also stick to a plant-based or even vegan diet, and they're not sure where to get their protein. So today I'm going to cover a whole bunch of food products that I use to get my protein intake, and I'll tell you the pros and cons of some of them, and we'll get started. I'm going to start with dry food products and go into refrigerated and then frozen. One thing that I have recently discovered, which is amazing, is this fluff butter from D Naturals. This is protein infused almond butter. They also have a peanut butter infused, and they have different flavors, but this is awesome because there are tons of those protein infused nut butters out there, but they all, unfortunately, until this product, were made with a whey protein. So since that's a product of milk, that's not suitable for vegans. So this is, and for the serving size, which is a typical thing for nut butter, 2 tablespoons, it's 11 grams of protein. So this is definitely a great thing to bring with you for snacks, on the road, on rice cakes, in your oatmeal. Can't go wrong. One con about it, it is expensive, so if you just buy it and don't want to spend too much money on it all the time, just use it sparingly. Next product we got is dry roasted edamame, and I'll do these together, and dry roasted broad beans. Now they're both a type of bean, but they're both dehydrated and made into this amazing snack, high in protein, high in tons of minerals and vitamins. And these are amazing for to-go, traveling, taking to work in a little Ziploc bag, hiking, long road trips, airplanes. This kind of stuff is what you want to bring because it doesn't go bad, it doesn't need a certain temperature. Also, because they are crunchy, they are a great substitute for croutons on salads. But this is an amazing source of protein. This broad beans have 7 grams for 1 ounce, and for 1/4 cup of the edamame, you got 14 grams. So that's pretty good for just a snack that you can snack on, you know, for lunch or just in between meals. And they do have less fat than regular nuts. So if you are trying to watch your fat intake or just your calorie intake in general, these are a little bit healthier for that aspect. These are only 100 calories for a serving, so I mean, you can't beat it. The next is something you can get at any store, and it's just your simple reduced sodium canned bean. Now obviously you can get beans also in a bag and dry, and you can do the process of soaking and cooking it that way. But for the most people, I think we do the canned beans because it's a little bit more convenient. You do want to make sure that it's low sodium, so you are not getting all your sodium intake for the day from the canned beans. But this is high in fiber, high in carbs, and high in proteins. This is a great food to put into a meal to really bulk up that meal and make it substantial. And it has a lot of protein, it's a great source of iron, total winner for a vegetarian protein source. That is your black bean. You can also make your own homemade hummus, which you get whatever kind of bean you like, and mix it with tahini, which is ground up sesame seed paste, and put it in a little bullet blender, and you got your own hummus. You didn't have to buy $5 for a smaller container. You're welcome. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is something that I don't think most people know about, and it's actually called Nutritional Yeast flakes. Now this is surprisingly really high in protein for just being some flakes. They do have a Parmesan-y type flavor, so they're awesome if you're trying to make a homemade style pasta or anything where you would need like kind of a cheese residue, lasagna that you're trying to make plant-based. This is awesome to kind of sprinkle on top because not only does it taste like cheese, and everybody loves cheese, it also is very high in protein. For only 1.5 tablespoons, you get 8 grams of protein. That is a lot. And that's awesome that you can get some hidden protein in there just by sprinkling on some of this. So this is a total winner. Absolutely recommend this to add. I use this all the time. And one thing I did also want to mention about yeast is that for vegans, this is one of the only products that has B12. Now, vegans always struggle with getting enough B12 because B12 mainly comes from animal products. The only exceptions are really B12 supplements and like seaweed and then yeast. Another is pumpkin seeds. These are an amazing way to get your protein, get your healthy fats in, and also just great for salads, snacking, in between meals. But one thing I wanted to note about this is that just like nuts you can get your protein sources from, I wanted to mention pumpkin seeds because it's also a great source if you are allergic to nuts because they're seeds. So this is a great option for those who have allergies to nuts, but it's also a great source of protein with 8 grams for a 1/4 cup. Pumpkin seeds. I love these things. This is called, if you can see, TVP. That is short for textured vegetable protein. This is the Bob Red Mill brand, and really it's pretty much dehydrated soy. So it's you just add water to it and it becomes like a ground beef texture. Amazing for bulking up any kind of dish. It has 0 fat and it does have carbs, but it does have a lot of protein. So this is definitely something that you can find in the dry pantry with all the flowers and flaxseed and things when you go to the grocery store like ShopRite, Whole Foods, Thriftway, things like that. That's where you can find TVP. This is an excellent source of protein for us veg heads. Another one is a playoff beans, and it is lentils. Lentils are amazing source of not only a whole bunch of nutrients, but definitely fiber and protein. And this is great to add to soups, or you can just cook it and have it with your dinner. And lentils, you can't go wrong. Totally recommend them. You do want to try and soak them before you cook them because it does make them a little bit more digestible, because all beans are a little tough to digest just because they're really high in fiber. So that might help you if you have a little gassiness after eating this. Maybe you need to soak them beforehand. I also wanted to mention that you can get vegan protein powders, and there are a ton out there. Vega has a whole bunch, but I recently been stalking PE Science, and they finally came out with a vegan protein, which I did recently purchase. I will show you what it looks like. So this is the PE Science Select Protein. This is chocolate flavor, and the macros on this are incredible. It is, for 1 scoop, 110 calories, 0.5 grams of fat, 6 carbs, and 20 protein. So that's totally good macros if you are a macro counter, and totally recommend it. It is delicious, and if you guys want to know any other protein powders that I have used, I've tried every vegan one on the market, so I will gladly give you my recommendations if you have other options that you might want to be interested in trying. So this is obviously a great way to get that protein in. I would recommend using whole food as your first source, and this would be great for post-workout protein. It's a little bit more fast absorbing, so definitely protein powder post-workout. Next, we have yogurt. They now have a Greek alternative that you can get regular yogurt. As we get into the refrigerated and frozen section, there are a few things I want to note that you need to be aware of as far as some of the nutrition in these products. So one of them for this is a great source protein, has 8 grams for 1 cup, which I'm just happy that there's a vegan yogurt out there. Like, I used to love yogurt, and then like there was never any that had good macros. Like, it was always like 20 something grams of sugar. I'm like, I don't want yogurt because it has so much sugar. Like, why can't they make a healthier one? And this is one of the ones that is pretty healthy. If you can find plain yogurt, that's going to be your best bet for the least amount of sugar. But this diet is pretty low in sugar, 13 grams, as opposed to some in the high 20s. So it's definitely a better option. Next is tofu. Tofu is a great vegetarian source. It's been around for ages, especially in the Asian cultures. They use tofu and tempeh, which I'll talk about too. And this is a great source of healthy fats, protein, potassium, and also has calcium, vitamin D. So this is an amazing source. If you notice, this is extra firm. So extra firm is actually better if you're trying to make more of a mock meat. So if you want it to be a little heartier in your dish, you want to get extra firm. Now if you're trying to make vegan style desserts, then you want to get the silken tofu because it's really soft and it will melt in your hand, and it's easier for making like vegan puddings or cakes because it can blend better. But for putting on your dish and just as a snack, the extra firm or the firmer you can get would be better for that. To that we have tempeh. Tempeh is my love. This is by Light Life, that is the brand. And I absolutely love tempeh. It really does add bulk and fill you up for hours into your meal. For about half, one of this, I would say, I usually eat half for one serving, and this is probably 2 servings for me. Because there's 2.5 servings, so it's like you might as well just eat a half. But it's 16 grams of protein for a half, a little bit more because I'm adding the 0.25. It just is an amazing way to get that protein in, a great source of iron. It's also really low sodium. The sodium's only 10 milligrams, which as you'll see in some other products I'm going to show you, this is extremely low and totally recommended because you don't want to get, if you're trying to eat healthier, you don't want to, you know, cut out potato chips that have sodium and then start substituting meat substitutes that are high sodium. You kind of want to be aware of that, so I am going to show you that as well. You can grill tempeh and you can put it on a sandwich and it is just as hearty as meat and you won't even miss it. This is also, just like tofu, can absorb different flavors, so go ahead, have fun, try different seasonings and flavors and see what kind of dishes you can come up with. I would love to hear about them. Almost done, guys. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is this can be refrigerated or frozen, and this is, the brand is Beyond Meat, but this is Beyond Chicken. This is so amazing. Obviously, the less seasoned you get at the store, the less sodium they're going to have. For 6 strips, you get 20 grams of protein and 5 grams of carbs and 3 fats. So this is really good macros. You can cook this. I like to grill it up with, you know, with some rice and veggies for dinner. You can also just throw it in a salad, like a grilled chicken salad. And there you go. It's an awesome alternative. And you won't even miss meat one bit. They do have ones that have other flavors, but just be aware that the more elaborate the flavors, the more sodium there's probably going to be. 2 more things, and then I'm cutting you off. So this is tofurkey brand, and this is also like a mock chicken. Now this actually does have a lot of sodium in it. It has 495 milligrams, which is a lot. It's because, as you can see, it's a sesame garlic. So if I got like the light roasted, it has less seasoning. It's more like just like a regular chicken type flavor. It's a lot less sodium. So that's just something to keep in mind. But if you don't use this often, then it's no big deal. But for about half the container, it's 23 grams of protein, 10 carbs, 9 fat. So it is pretty hefty. It will fill you. It has a good amount of all the macros. This can be eaten raw, whereas you could just take it out of the package and throw it in a salad and you're good. You don't have to cook it. So this is totally recommended, and there are tons of flavors. You can get this at Thriftway, ShopRite, pretty much anywhere that there's tofurkey products. And lastly is the Boca Burger. I have been eating these for years. Even before I was plant-based, I ate Boca Burgers because I just thought they were freaking good. But the key to this Boca Burger is really this green label here, because it's saying original vegan veggie burger. A lot of the other ones that Boca sells does have a lot of veggies in them, but you have to really look at the ingredients, and there will be things that say made partly with skim milk, you know, milk cultures. So there is some that are still made with milk, even though it doesn't say it on the label. So you've got to be careful of that if you are going for strict vegan. For one burger, you have, I think, under 100 calories, 70 calories, 13 grams of protein, 6 carbs, practically no fat. Also a great alternative. Now, one thing I do want to mention, just as a brief wrap up, the more foods that you get that are whole foods and less processed, like things you saw in the refrigerator, like the chicken strips, then that will be your best bet, because obviously we want to support whole foods as much as possible, but obviously we do need to supplement and get that protein in other ways, and there are healthier options out there, like the ones I just showed you are probably one of the healthiest options in the refrigerated and frozen section for plant-based proteins. So if you have any questions about any of the products that I talked about, please email me at natalie@bodybyboss.com. Follow me on Instagram at NattieBossFit and NattieBoss_nutrition. I'd love to hear your questions. If you do decide to buy any of this stuff and make recipes, tag me in them because I would love to see what you made. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little long, I'm sorry about that. I really tried to talk fast, but I will see you guys in the next video, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and peace out.